First question of the test asks you to match the term with its color space. RGB is your additive color mode, and CMYK is your subtractive one. The next question asks you to change the artboard name iPad layout to a landscape orientation. To do that, we don't want to have anything selected. We're going to go to our properties panel. We're going to notice that there's a little button here that says edit artboard. If we click on the artboard name iPad layout, we should be able to change the orientation right here on the side. In our properties panel, there should be a little button. If you look at, it's the wider one, that's landscape. That just means that it's wider than it is taller. The next question says you're using the background layer to create contrast while designing an infographic, but do not want it to print. Make the background non-printable. So we're gonna have to be in our layers panel. We're gonna have to double click on our background layer. And you'll see that there's a print option. We're just gonna uncheck that, press OK, and that means that's not gonna print, but we can still see it on the screen. The next question says match each design term to the image that represents it. Texture is usually going to be an up-close version of something where you see a lot of lines and like grooves. Radial symmetry was usually demonstrated with some sort of starfish or something circular like this. And focal point is where your eye is naturally drawn in the picture. The next question has to do with grouping squares based on their colors, naming them, and then hiding one of them. I would recommend you select one of the shapes, go up to select, same, and hit fill color. Everything that's red nearby will be selected. Then you can go to object group and do the same things with the remaining colors. Once I have them all grouped, I can open up these groups and name them based on their color. The last part of the question says to hide the red. To hide a layer, we hit the little I next to the layer. The following question is asking about options for when you export as an Illustrator. The options are as follows: PNG, SVG, and a PSD. The next question asks you to adjust the image so that the light bulb does not cover the text using a 24-point offset value. This is called text wrap. In order to do this, first you have to select both the type and the image. Go up to Object, scroll down to Text Wrap, and hit Make. Press OK. But we don't know if this number is the right number, so we're going to go back to the same location, Object, Text Wrap, except this time we're going to hit Text Wrap Options. We're going to type in the number 24 and press OK. The following question says to create a guide from the object below. To do that, you are selecting the object, going up to View, scrolling down to the word Guides, hitting Make Guides. You know that this is correct because it should be a bright blue line around the shape. The next question says to position the red rose symbol from the flowers library on either side of the shape below. So we're going to need our symbols library. We're going to go up to Window, find Symbols. Look for the library button, it's the bottom left corner. Look for the flowers library. If you're not sure what name for each of these flowers, just hover your mouse over it. We need the red rose on either side, which means one or the other, not both. We don't have to resize or do anything else. The next question says to select the stars in a single step using one tool and to change the fill color. Anytime you see a question that says single step or one tool, they're referring to the magic wand tool. The quick key is the letter Y. If we click on one of these stars, all of them should be selected because they share the same color. To change the color, we should be able to double click on the bottom part of our toolbar where it says fill and type in these values. The next question says to trace the image using the sketched art preset and to make the line thicker by adjusting the threshold of the image. In order to do this, first thing we're going to do is go to our window, image trace, to pull up that panel. Then we're going to select the image, hit the drop down menu that says preset, find the one that says sketched art, and then change the threshold to 175. That's it. The following question has you do a little bit of math. It has to do with printing a high quality piece of artwork that needs to be exported at 300 ppi. You want your images to be 6 by 10 inches. What is the minimum size required to meet the specifications? You have to do a little bit of math. We're going to times 6 by 300 and then 10 by 300. So we should get 1800 by 3000 pixels. Following question has to do with using the image below as a base color. Create a new color group in your swatches panel that uses monochromatic harmony color guide. First thing we need to do is find our color guide panel under window, select our shape. Right now it's not set to purple, we're gonna have to click on that to set it to purple. Then drop down this little arrow and find the option that says monochromatic. Now the last step is that we have to add it to our swatches. There's a button on the bottom right hand corner that will allow us to do that. We just have to click once. If we're not sure if it worked, we can go to Window Swatches just to double check. And we should see the shades of purple. Remember, monochromatic means one chroma, one color, in different shades and tints. The following question says to change the document color mode to CMYK for printing and to change the resolution. To do that, let's start off with changing the color mode by going up to File, Color Mode, setting it to CMYK. To change the resolution, we go to Effect, Document Raster Effect Settings, swap this down to medium, press OK. The next question has to do with creating a new document. To do that, we're going to go to File, New. This says you're making a document for web, so we're going to use the web presets up on the top. We're going to find the one that says minimum, name this. It says 6 artboards, we're going to type in 6. But it has some more settings that are not available on the screen. We're going to have to hit this bottom button that says More Settings to add the spacing and the columns. Make sure you hit Create Document. Now, because we're doing a test, you're going to submit this file to me. On the real exam, you're just going to be able to hit Next, and it should register that you made a new document. The following question says, use the corner point, match the logo to the reference sketch. Do not add or move anchor points. We're going to need to use our direct selection tool to do this. We kind of want to select the bottom anchor point, pull it downward, but it's still too rounded. To make this pointier, we're going to pull these points in to the anchor point. So the handles should kind of disappear. Remember, handles are what make things a curve. Without the handles now, we have a nice pointed line. The following question talks about the design process that's being illustrated here. And this is called an iterative design process because there are different iterations of a design based on your plans and your modifications. The following question says to change the work area layer to magenta. So to do that, we're going to open up our layers panel. We're going to double click on our work area, swap this color out, and find the color magenta. Then press OK. The following question asks you to make a scatter brush. So we're going to need our brush panel. We're going to go up to Window and Brushes, select the artwork, create a new brush with this little plus button, make sure we hit Scatter, and then put in all our settings. The last part of this question says to apply the new brush to both lines. To do that, we're going to select the line, hit the brush we just made, repeat that one more time. Because we set the method to tints, it should take the colors of the lines. The following question says to remove all stray points from the document. To do that, we're going to go to Object. We're going to go to Path. We're going to hit Clean Up. Make sure the stray points option is hit, and press OK. The following question tells you to change the properties of the figure's shadow. To do that, we're going to select the shadow. We're going to go to our Properties panel, and where it says the word opacity, we're going to click on opacity. Our blending mode is right here. We're going to change that to soft light. We're going to change the opacity to 65%. The following question has to do with matching definitions. So the first one says adjust the baseline of the text along a graphic shape. That is called type on a path. Text that automatically flows when the text frame is adjusted is area type. Text that automatically distorts is point type. And text wrap is useful when you have an object or graphic in front of a body of text. 23 asks you to set up a grid and show the properties. To set up a grid, you want nothing selected. Basically, click anywhere on the page you set on an object. On the side, you should see this section that says Rulers and Grids, and the second button will show your grid. You want to show your grid first, and then you want to scroll down to where it says Preferences, go to where it says Guides and Grids, and change these numbers to match the question's values. Press OK. Then it says to adjust the square group so that it aligns with the grid. All that means is like right now they're not lined up. We want the boxes to line up with the grid boxes. The last question says use the function that will crop the background image on the texture layer to the shape of the hand vector on the texture layer. Use the reference image as a guide. Basically, we want to have the texture inside this lock. That is called a clipping mask. To do that, we're going to go to our layers panel, hit texture. The button for clipping mask is on the bottom. We can click on it. That's how we know we have it right, because we have our reference image to refer to.